I used to spend hours building every single invoice manually in Excel. New client, new invoice, same tedious process of typing in all the information. Now I just select an invoice number from a dropdown and everything populates automatically. Let me show you how. Before we build anything, you need to format your invoice in Excel that contains your branding on one sheet, and you need to gather your invoice source data on a separate sheet. Think of this as your database that contains all of your invoice data that your invoice template will pull from. I highly recommend formatting your source data as an Excel table by pressing Ctrl T so that if you add any new invoice data, it's automatically included in the template. I will also link this workbook in the caption below for you to use if you don't want to build one. Once you have your invoice template sheet in your database, you're ready to build. The first step is to insert an invoice selector drop-down menu that contains all of the invoice numbers from the source data. To do this, click on the invoice number cell, go to the Data tab, select Data Validation, and choose List from the Allow dropdown. Now we just need to enter the column that contains all of the invoice numbers as the source by clicking the up arrow button, navigating to the Source Data tab, and selecting the Invoice Numbers column in column A. Press OK to save the changes, and now we can easily select any invoice number from the dropdown. Next, we need to use the filter function to populate all of the line items for the selected invoice number. To do this, click on the first cell in your Invoices line item section, enter the filter function, and enter the data fields we want to populate as the array argument. In this case, we want the brand, device, quantity, unit price, and amount fields, so I'm going to select all of those columns from the source data, but you can customize this for your invoice to fit your specific needs. The next argument is the criteria, which is the filter you want to apply to the array. We want to filter the data on the invoice number, so I'm going to select the invoice number, enter an equal sign, and select the invoice number column. Hit enter, and now our invoice automatically pulls in all of the rows from the array where the invoice number equals the invoice number selected in the dropdown. Last but not least, add a sum formula summing up the line item amounts in your invoice template, and you're done. Now you can just select any invoice number from the dropdown, and all the line items and total invoice amount will automatically populate in the invoice. This is so much easier than creating one at a time. Any invoice pulled up in seconds without typing a single thing. Once you build this, you wonder how you ever work without it. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and subscribe. We've got more Excel tips just like this coming every week.